Welcome to Breakup Cheater Squad. You're in for a wild ride today. This story is packed with clever moves, brutal betrayals, and incredible comeback. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. So sit back, hit that like button, share with your friends, drop a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping stories. Let's dive in. Derek first met Katie through a college buddy, though their initial encounter left little impression on him. She was just another face in the crowd, someone he barely registered. But fate had other plans. They crossed paths again at a social event, and this time, Katie showed him a completely different side of herself. She was incredibly well-read, deeply introspective, and carried a gentle, soulful nature that set her apart from every other woman Derek had ever known. He found her fascinating, a breath of fresh air in a world that often felt shallow and predictable. Without hesitation, he proposed to her, practically on impulse, swept up in the intensity of the moment. Ring in hand, heart on his sleeve. He asked her to be his wife. To his delight, Katie said yes immediately. She had secretly hoped for this moment from the very first day they met. Their wedding was small and intimate, a cozy affair filled with warmth and laughter. 4 years afterward, they would sit together, flipping through their wedding photos, reminiscing about how perfect that day had been. Before they married, Katie introduced Derek to her family, including a man named Tyler. When Derek asked how exactly they were related, Katie shrugged, admitting she wasn't entirely sure. Some distant branch of the family, she explained vaguely. However, her mother referred to Tyler as son, which left little doubt in Derek's mind that he was more than just a distant cousin. He was close kin. Katie absolutely adored Tyler. She spoke about him with the kind of affection most people reserved for childhood best friends. They did everything together, going to cafes, shopping, even attending yoga classes side by side. First, Derek tried to brush it off. But as time passed, he found himself growing increasingly uneasy about their bond. It wasn't just that Katie spent so much time with Tyler. It was the way she talked about him, the way her eyes lit up whenever his name came up in conversation. Oddly enough, Katie's 2 sisters seemed to loathe Tyler, and they never missed an opportunity to make cutting remarks about him. Derek found their disdain curious. Why was Katie the only one who held him in such high regard? She would talk about Tyler for hours, recounting childhood memories, sharing little anecdotes about their daily adventures. The 100th time she casually mentioned his name, Derek felt his blood start to boil. His sarcastic remarks became more frequent, his patience wearing thin. "Don't be ridiculous, it's just Tyler," Katie would say with a reassuring smile whenever she noticed Derek's mood souring. "Yeah, well, maybe to you he's just Tyler. To me, he's someone I don't trust." Katie tried to explain over and over how they had become so close. She told Derek that when she was little, her mother had taken Tyler in because his own mom had been working multiple jobs just to provide for her family. With Katie's sisters not yet born, Tyler had been her only friend, her rock. Derek tried to put his jealousy aside, but then work consumed his life. A fire broke out at one of the sites he managed, leaving a massive project in ruins. The rebuilding process demanded all of his attention, forcing him to work long hours. Days blurred into nights, and before he knew it, he was barely seeing Katie at all. Most mornings, he only caught a glimpse of her as he rushed out the door, and by the time he came home, she was already asleep. Then one morning, Derek noticed 2 wine glasses on the kitchen counter. "What's with the 2 glasses? Who were you drinking with?" he asked, surprised. "Oh, Tyler dropped by," Katie replied brightly. "We were celebrating his promotion. Can you believe it? He's moving up." Derek felt a familiar anger rise in his chest. He was so sick of hearing about that man. But at the same time, he realized he had been absent. He hadn't been able to give Katie the attention she craved, and part of him was almost grateful that someone was keeping her company. Almost. Then, a co-worker approached him with a cautious, almost concerned expression. "Are you sure there's nothing going on between your wife and that relative of hers?" Derek immediately bristled. He insisted that if there were any kind of affair happening, It wouldn't just be cheating, it would be something far worse. But his co-worker's words planted a seed of doubt in his mind. The more he thought about it, the more uneasy he felt. He even found himself researching articles about romantic entanglements between relatives, and each one made his stomach churn. Then, one day, he found another man's underwear in the laundry. Derek lost it. Furious, he confronted Katie. "Whose are these?" he demanded, holding up the unfamiliar briefs. Katie barely blinked. "Oh, those must be Tyler's. His washing machine broke, so he asked to do some laundry here. I guess a pair got mixed in." She said it so nonchalantly, like it was nothing. "Katie, what the hell is going on?" Derek's voice shook with anger. "I've told you a million times I don't like this. Washing his stuff crosses every possible line. What was I supposed to do? Say no. He's family," she shot back. That night, they had the worst fight of their marriage. For the first time, Derek slept on the couch, tossing and turning with a pounding headache. In the morning, Katie tried to make amends, bringing him coffee with an apologetic smile. But the doubt had already taken root, and Derek couldn't shake it. 3 grueling months passed as Derek battled the crisis at work. Finally, he got a rare day off and decided to surprise Katie. He bought her favorite pastries and a bouquet of flowers, eager to spend a cozy evening together. But as soon as he pulled into the parking lot, his stomach dropped. Tyler's car was there. All the excitement drained from Derek's body. His hands clenched around the bouquet. Climbing the stairs, he braced himself. Maybe Tyler had just stopped by for a short visit. Maybe there was nothing to worry about. But as he reached the front door, he noticed it was unlocked. Inside, the apartment was eerily quiet. Then he heard it. Faint squeak. Their bed. His blood turned to ice. Dropping everything, he bolted toward the bedroom and flung the door open. And there they were. Katie, Taylor, on the bed. It took Derek a moment to process the sight before him. Then rage consumed him. He lunged, shoving Katie aside. She tumbled off the bed, crying out as she hit the floor. But Derek didn't care. He unleashed years of pent-up fury on Tyler, punching him over and over, cursing him, cursing Katie, cursing the lies. By the time he stopped, Tyler was a wreck. His left eye swollen, his lips split and bleeding. The next day, Tyler ran to Katie's parents, probably expecting sympathy. But Derek had already beaten him there. He told them everything. Katie's mother collapsed into sobs, wailing that she'd never be able to show her face in the family again. Her father just patted Derek's shoulder, offering silent pity. The family was disgusted. They disowned Katie on the spot. With nowhere to go, she moved in with Tyler. But it didn't last. A couple of years later, Tyler announced he was getting married, to someone else. Katie had to pack up and leave. She spent the next year drifting from one rental to another, struggling to find a decent job. She felt no remorse for destroying her marriage, but losing Tyler, that broke her. In the end, she was left completely alone. No husband, no family, no future.